Hi everyone, we're here live and we're going to talk about right now trills in Handel, in particular the G major Chaconne, and how to decipher what's written on the score, and we'll just discuss a few different ways of doing that. We're going to look at the main theme as well as variation number 9, the one in minor. So this is, maybe you've heard it before. The Chaconne in G major. There's a couple of Chaconnes. I think there's actually more than one Chaconne by Handel in G major. This is HWV 435. You can find, it's the most popular one. Okay, the first thing to talk about with this piece in particular is the additions, because there's many different things written with this piece, and they all look extremely different. It can even be a little hard to find hard copies of this. So today I am using a score from IMSLP, which is probably one of the better things to use. There are several there. I will add a link in the description to the one I'm using here, just so you can go ahead and download it for free. But I'm also looking and comparing with some things that are in a Bärenreiter Urtext edition. Okay, and should we do everything in the Bärenreiter edition? Certainly not. If you've listened to a couple of recordings of this, you'll find that everyone's doing a little something different with this Chaconne, and we can be a little bit spontaneous, but there's a way to work on this as well. Okay, so let's start with a theme, okay, and then we'll get into variation number 9. And I'm going to put a few little slides as well up, so in the video after. So those of you who are live, just bear with it because you won't be able to see the score. Okay, the main theme. This trill is, it just says TR, and we have a D, and it does sound better if we trill from above. That's one of the questions, is do we trill from above, or do we trill do we start with the note above, or do we start on the note that's written? Very often it sounds better from the note above, okay? And we could have a whole discussion about that. But in this case, it sounds better if we start from the note above. Now, what I have written is different in both the IMSLP version and the Bärenreiter edition. The rhythm is not the same. I find the IMSLP version makes a lot more sense. It's easy to read, okay? In other words, the free one is better. Yeah? There's no real specific way to do these trills, but there's definitely a way that sounds, better than another. So I think this sounds good if you go to, if we can hear that. So we have the first one, and then so you see that what's important is kind of what do we hear at the beginning of the trill and how does it end. So in this case, in the beginning we hear and think of this cluster of notes more as one thing, not like there's several notes and then one of them has a trill on it. The other notes, it's kind of like one giant trill, and the notes that don't have the trill written over it are just helping us figure out exactly how to put that together. So that's the first thing we want to hear. And we add the trill. So we also want to finish with it looks like on paper. I'm not sure if there's any use in doing that. makes sense. That's a way of doing it. How else could this be done? Instead of having in the beginning, we could have that. But I think that's much less interesting. Another way we could also is repeat the F sharp. That's, you know, maybe my second favorite choice. So here's one version, another version, which I find less interesting. Okay, I think that covers the first bar. Ensuite, yeah, these are little things that are different in the Barenreiter edition. There's an F here, and in the other version there's a G, and you know the G sounds quite okay. Okay, bar 3, we have this trill, or we could start from above, like we said before. That works as well. So many different things in these two editions. Then this is very similar again. So again, if we do the same thing as we did with the other one, the first thing we want to hear at the beginning of the trill is, right? Or same thing we did. You know, the other question we didn't address is sometimes we trill with the note below the one that's written. In this case, we're not doing that on any trill. We're not doing that anywhere, right? That would be... That's not the case. Usually when a composer wants that, they'll write the little zigzag with a line going through it, right? Okay. I don't like that. Okay, that's a possibility. Or we could repeat that note instead of starting with the one above. There's no right or wrong here. Okay, and the trills, again, ad lib, right? A lot of, you putting this piece in context, it was written for harpsichord or organ, and it's quite usual, it's not unusual for an organist to add trills on sometimes every second note. So that's okay. And you don't have to do all of them either, not even the ones that are written. So those trills can be moved around. They don't have to be exactly as they are. For example, here we have in the IMSLP, exactly what that edition is, but in Barenreiter we have one trill here, and some pianists, I believe in the recording, which you may have listened to on YouTube with Murray Perahia, he trills on every single beat. That's possible, just to give you an idea of how much we can deviate from what's here. Now here, we have that little extra note. Again, either we start on the note or above the note as the first note. Above or on. Either are acceptable. Now this. So don't make a big deal of the 64th note. Yeah, there's a little 64th note. Is that right? 16th? 32nd, 64th. That's right. We're barely going to hear it. If you don't pay attention to it, you have something like this. If you do, maybe we'll have something like this. It's not such a big deal. So we have two kinds of trills in here. The ones that are written specifically over a note, and the ones that are part of another cluster of notes, and it's really just one giant ornament. That's his way of writing it. I think that covers the intro there. And hi to everyone who's tuned into the stream. Hi, Nicola, like Nikola Tesla. Oliver. Christine Fowler, that's my mom. Hi, Mom. What is this piece? This is the Chaconne in G major by Handel, HWV 435. And then this is, of course, followed with, 20 or so variations. And we'll get into that. We really will, but I'd like to look at it first. So, yeah, there's a lot of trills which I believe, it would be acceptable to even add things in here. Second last bar in the second variation. You have to sometimes use your intuition a little bit for these things.